The feeling of loneliness can be described as being in a crowd full of people yet feeling like an island. I've been told that I'm beautiful so many times that I lost count. There is an old saying that if one likes a flower, they'll pick it, but if one loves a flower, they'll take care of it. I'd always longed for someone to take care of me, yet I'm constantly being picked and discarded. When I was at home in Puerto Rico, my previous boyfriend left me feeling used and distrustful of men. When I came to America, I arrived at my new job hoping for a fresh start and made a promise to not have any romantic relationships. When I was introduced to the rest of the faculty, I felt the usual attention, men unable to hide their desire of me, but I tried my best to ignore it and be friendly. However, I noticed something that I haven't experienced before. A man by himself getting some juice. I noticed that he was handsome, but I guessed that he was gay, so I decided to go over and introduce myself hoping to have a gay friend. We talked and he introduced himself as Edward. I feel like we had a connection because I couldn't take my eyes off him, even as I was being dragged back into the male crowd. I do my job teaching high school students and I could tell that the male students are objectifying and undressing me with their eyes. I enjoyed the time I had with Edward during lunch. I quickly realized that he wasn't gay, but I noticed that when several male co-workers approached me to start a conversation, Edward strangely became territorial. I actually grew to admire him because of his assertiveness. Dating or not, I couldn't help being a hopeless romantic and started reading romance novels. Don't judge me. One day I forgot my novel at the school, and before I realized that it was gone, Edward came to my house to return my book. I was so excited to see him. I did not question how he got my address or how did he know that it was my book. I invited him inside, but I had to grade papers. He did let me know that he would be available later that week. We eventually started going out, and I slowly realized that I could trust him. I found out that my best friend was getting married, but she wouldn't invite me because my looks would take the attention away from her. Edward helped me through it and wiped away my tears. He always knows the right thing to say to make me smile. I soon noticed that two of my students were quieter than usual. I pulled them aside to ask them what's wrong, but they wouldn't say anything as if they were afraid to talk. Eventually, Edward and I got engaged and set a date for our wedding. However, one night changed everything for Edward and I. I was in bed when something caused me to wake up. Listening very closely, I realized that there was someone in my house. I quietly picked up my phone and called the police, who told me that they would be there in 8 minutes. After I hung up the phone, I decided to call Edward because I thought that his voice would keep me calm. When I heard his phone ring, there was a phone vibrating in the hallway. I quietly locked the door of my bedroom. Edward was knocking on my door and yelled about how we belonged together and this was making our relationship stronger. He was interrupted by the police who told him to put his hands on his head. I was crying as Edward would resist an arrest. The police later told me that he had a key to my house, and they believed that he must have copied it behind my back. I tearfully removed the engagement ring and told him that I'm getting a restraining order. I decided to take some time away from my job and return home to find myself, because I need to question my choice in men. I feel like such an idiot.